Hi, I'm Todd Henderson. Today I want to show you how to install the Gator SR1 on this 2009 and up body style Ram pickup. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set our rails on top of our bed caps. Now, you want to get the correct rail. This is the passenger side rail. The Velcro is going to face to the outside. The foam pad on the bottom is going to actually sit on top of our bed cap. Down here towards the tailgate end, we're going to have our spring-loaded latch assembly. And then up at the front, that's not going to have the latch assembly. And so first thing we're going to do here is flip that over, and we're going to need to apply our seal up at the front corner. All right, now here's our seals. You got 4 seals on this pad. We're going to choose the one that has the round cutout that's going to fit right here. Essentially what we do is you just kind of peel it back, pull the seal off. Be careful not to touch the adhesive. And fit it in place. Repeat the same process on the driver's side rail as well. All right, next what we're going to do is we're going to take our cover assembly. Now this is the tarp. It's got the head rail on here. Now this head rail is going to face towards the bulkhead. Now I've already got my bulkhead seal applied. We go all the way from one bed cap to the other bed cap on the inside of the bulkhead. You want to get that as far back towards the tailgate as possible, as far away from the cap as possible, still on top of the bulkhead. So I'm going to go ahead and pull our Velcro straps off. Now this is going to fall into place. One key thing is make sure that this seal right here is facing down. So if it's facing towards the cab, that's wrong. You want to make sure you rotate that down. Now it's going to insert into this channel right here, not into this one. So save yourself the aggravation and frustration. And it is a tight fit. Fit it in just like that on both sides. All right, now here's our clamp assembly. I'm going to start with the front up towards the cab of the truck and work back. Now I'm going to come back about 6 to 8 inches from the bulkhead. I'm going to take my first clamp. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen up the bolt that holds the 2 clamp halves together. Go ahead and loosen up that bolt. Now I'm going to lift this up and turn it sideways, pull the clamp bottom underneath, and then rotate it back together. I'm going to set that in place. I'm going to make sure the teeth on the clamp are married into the grooves on the rail. I'm going to hold all that together, and then just hand tight, I'm going to tighten it down with my fingers. Next 2 clamps we're going to install the exact same way, just get them nice and evenly spaced. All right, your last clamp, you want to try to get as close to the tailgate as possible. Once you do that, you're going to go ahead and repeat the same process on the opposite side as well. All right, next what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start rolling our tarp back towards our tailgate. Now, a couple things you want to make sure you do. First of all, make sure your Velcro straps are hanging down into the bed of the truck, and the top straps are out exposed so that we can strap it down when we need to. We also want to make sure that this tarp is actually centered onto the head rail of the truck. So while you have the tarp lifted off of the Velcro, it can actually slide side to side a little bit. So we just want to make sure it's nice and centered before we start pulling it back. And as we roll it back, we want to watch our crossbows. Now our crossbows, they're going to drop down into the rail. If it hits a clamp, you want to reposition the clamp to where it misses the cross rails. The crossbows. Now as we roll the cover back, we're going to notice that the crossbows may actually hit the side rails. That's fine. Once we get it to the tailgate, we're going to center our rails where they're supposed to go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and rotate the tail rail into the latch assembly, make sure it's catching on both sides, and then latch it into place. Now we're going to want to make sure that we've got the rails centered on the bed of the truck. We also want to make sure we've got just a little bit of play in between the tail rail and the latch rail. Whatever we do on this side, we want to make sure it's even on the opposite side. We also want to make sure that it's just as far back on both sides so that it's not sitting crooked. Now once we've got that where we want it, we can go ahead and start gently rolling it forward towards the cab of the truck again. And then we can go ahead and tighten down all of our clamps to set this thing in position. To tighten down our clamps, we're going to use a 1/2 inch wrench or ratchet. Next, we're going to go ahead and roll the cover back to the tailgate again. Once we get it back to the back, we're going to go ahead and install our seals on the tail rail. We got 2 more seals. We're going to go ahead and pull those off and install them just like so. There again, make sure you don't touch the adhesive on the seal. Do that to both sides. Well, that concludes the installation. If you have any questions, call the experts. We're here to help you out.